Well, hello there, and welcome back to Maury's Music, and welcome to another edition of Live by Request. I want to thank all of you guys for watching. Rohith is here. Good morning. Hi, Maury. Haven't seen one of these in a while. The correct answer is buy them both. And thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next time. That's exactly right. Matter of fact, it's even better than that. We're going to do a Live by Request referencing some left-handed instruments while I play some right-handed equivalents. So not just fair to say that these guitars are available to anyone. The two that I'm going to play aren't even really on the radar of the Live by Request-er, who had just showed up. Hello, Charlie. Hi, Maury. Thanks for doing this. I don't expect to be very vocal, as I don't have much to say, and I'm really here to listen. Well, listen to Rohith. He just said buy them both. I'm going to play a Neil Young song for you two guys, and we're finished. We're going to hit the sold button. But kidding aside, we do thank you guys for watching. Anybody here watching in real time or in the future, Live by Request means we can take something from our inventory, whether it's one single guitar, maybe it's a couple of guitars, and use YouTube one of two ways. Charlie's going to probably be a little bit more passive than some, but if Charlie decides that he wants me to try something different, specifically with regards to tuning, pick, fingerstyle, capo, if Charlie were here in our store, he could explain to me what he'd like me to do to help express how this guitar could sound different than that guitar. He's basically the director here. If he decides to be a little bit passive and just watch more than listen, that's okay too. You're also invited, if you'd like us to do this for you, you can give me a quick email, let me know what to play, and you can just watch. You can watch the replay, you can watch from behind the bushes, you can be here without even being seen. So if you think this is a good idea, please consider sharing this with your friends, whether it's in real time live or the replay. We want to do all we can at Maury's Music to bring you the right guitar the first time, and we're going to try to see if we can't figure out together, is the HD-28 or the D-28 better for Charlie's playing style. Charlie, thank you very much for your earlier email. I'm going to do a little bit of bluegrass, very, very, very little. I'll do some cowboy chords, some Neil Young stuff, and please, you don't mean to make you be too vocal in the chat, but please remind me if you'd like to hear some fingerstyle and or some capo work. We're going to get right down to it. Today's edition of Live by Request starts right now. Okay, let's get into it. We're going to start with a 1.0 pick, and I think if I remember correctly, Charlie goes back and forth from the 1s to the 0.8s. We got both of them here. We're going to start with the 1, and we're going to try to focus more on some deep tones, because in my honest opinion, I think that's where the biggest differences are between the scalloped braced HD-28 and the forward shifted non-scallop bracing of the D-28, which is over here. So if anybody's playing at home, you guys want to know what we're doing, you're listening specifically to the HD-28 serial number that ends in 076, and it begins now. And the D-28 serial number ends in 303. to try to save my opinions till the end, but that is the D-28, and I do think I hear some more mid-range. Again, this one ends in 303. Sticking with the D-28. The HD-28. Both pretty awesome, right? We're going to change to a .88 pick, and we're going to do drop D. Staying on the HD-28. Back to the D-28. I don't have to choose. Okay, let's try to, I'll be a team player and try to play a little bit of bluegrass, or at least some bass runs. We'll go back to the 1.0 pick for you. Back to the HD. Try to do a little bit of just deliberately showcasing the deepest parts of the guitar and then some mid-range. I really do think that there's a really strong middle on one of them. I should shut up so you listen to it yourself. So here's the, we're still in the HD, I believe. So here's some deep stuff. Back to the D. I'll coax some mid-range out of it. Back to the HD. Do some quick change capo stuff, maybe on the 3rd fret. We'll stick with the 1.0 pick. I'd love to hear finger picking as well as a capo on the 2nd to 5th. Okay. That's your HD. Back to the D. Do some finger style. Back to the HD. All right, if you're just joining us, you're in the middle of Live by Request. Charlie's asking us to play an HD-28 versus a D-28, and we're putting it through some paces with and without a capo, with and without some thick picks. I'm going to keep going on a capo with the 5th fret on the HD-28. These are all original songs composed on the fly, if you guys like them. Back to the D-28. Excuse me. Go back down to fret number 2. And back to the HD. One of my favorite songs on each. Boy, that's There are so many, but I'll try something you guys might recognize. Still on the HD-28. HD, pretty good. Can the D do that? Hi, David. Tom, thank you. All right, guys, we're getting near the end of Live by Request, and they want to know, Charlie, what are you thinking? I'm about ready to start telling you what I think. Let me know in the chat, Charlie, specifically, if you don't mind hearing what I think with the guitar sitting in my lap, under my ear, and I will talk a little bit about what I think I'm hearing. Of course, it shouldn't cloud your judgment too much in any way. You know, don't take what I'm saying to you to mean more than what you're hearing, but if you want to know what I think of these two, I'm happy to share. If you'd like me to shut up, I'm learning how to do that too, and maybe there's a lot more value in this video if you hear the guitars and you don't hear what I think, because that could, you know, that might not help. So Thomas thinks the HD, although the D sounds good. Charlie does not mind hearing what I think. So here's what I think. When I'm playing these, there's clearly a bass, a subwoofer bass boost in the HD, in the HD-28. What I'm hearing and what I'm feeling, frankly, in my lap is boomier than the D, at the cost of some mid-range punch and power. So when I'm doing things with the bottom string, they both sound like they have enough, but the HD has more than I need, and I can do that Neil Young womp, and it's there. It fills. When I go back to the D in comparison, and that's a good point, because I'm comparing them, I feel this way. If I just played the HD for a half hour and never brought the D out, that changes everything, because it's only when you have the other thing with it that you'll hear this specifically. When I play the D, the bass boost, the bass boost that's a subwoofer in the subwoofer range, not the bass in a vocal or the bass in a low mid-range, but the bassiest bass isn't there on the D, but it has enough of what I would call just bass instead of saying subwoofer. It's got bass guitar, it just doesn't have like kick drum, 18-inch speaker stuff. The D has enough of what I would call necessary bass, and it has a boost in the lower mid-range and the mid-range. So things like this just leap out of the D. They're sort of scooped a little bit in the HD. So I hear the guitar really wants to play very deep things on the HD. The Dreadnought wants to play mid-range and low mid-range things. For my playing style, to my ears in this more or less acoustically treated studio, so far playing an 88 pick and a 1.0. So they're both more similar than they are different. Let me say that before I get too far into it. They're both designed to be very close. If you like one of them, it'd be a shocker to me if you don't like the other one. They're meant to both be Rosewood, Sitka, Martin voiced 14 fret dreads, so they're deliberately in the same neighborhood. But if you like a bass boost and you don't mind giving up a little bit of mid-range power, I think the HD has that. And if you like a lot of mid-range and you want to do some single note things, which I think Charlie doesn't do. If I remember your email, Charlie, you don't do a lot of solos and a lot of all over the neck. You do more chords. They can both do chords, and I think the D is a little better at doing single notes. So I'll play a couple more things to wrap up, but that's how I feel. Let us know in the chat what you think. And really, this is all about Charlie. Even if I end up being on the same side with 4 or 5 people in the chat, if Charlie doesn't hear it that way, Charlie, do yourself a really serious favor. Don't even listen to what we're saying, or don't put any stock into it. Go with what you're hearing, but I'm sure it could be at least somewhat informative if you want to ask us what we're thinking. But it does come down to what you think. You might disagree, and you're the one who wants to hear these two, so keep that in mind as well. Thomas says the D sounds louder, but it's really the strings make the both sound bright. And it's a good point. I forgot to mention these are both brand new guitars. These both have brand new strings. Martin 13 gauge phosphor bronze, so there's no difference in the setup or string life. And Charlie would like to concur with Mari's comments. The HD seems to create a richer overall sound. I'll listen through again. Both are good choices, says Tom. Yes, this is a good starting point. Put the video away, come back to it, watch the replay as many times as you want. And whether you're Charlie or not, if this video makes you think of more questions between HD and D-28s, whether they're left-handed, right-handed, maybe you're specifically looking for a guitar and you're lucky that you wanted to look at these two specifically. These are right-handed instruments that Charlie's not going to choose. So we're here to play these guitars to give Charlie an idea what an HD sounds like compared to a D-28. But these two guitars aren't even in Charlie's shopping cart. So if anybody watching this live or the replay, as this video is going live today on November 1st, these two guitars are in stock. The D-28 ends in 303, and the serial number of the HD-28 that I played ends in 076. Please keep that in mind if you're just watching this casually, but you know somebody looking for these guitars. Here's a really good A-B to see which one you like better. David's hearing the same as Mari, and Tom would like to hear a D-35 and a D-18 and a D-41. That's for another program, but that's very doable. Live by request is available. You can't crowd on Charlie's time, but you can make your own. So if anybody watching this right now thinks it's a cool idea, let's come back here later for Thomas, and we'll do D-35 versus D-18 and D-41, and you see how this goes. We can really bring you a personalized program. So thank you again for watching. Thank you very much, Charlie, for giving us the chance to show you these two guitars. I'm going to play both of them again, this time going back to the 1.0. I want to thank all of you guys for your support. Remember, if you're watching this in real time, I'll be live with Aaron Short tonight at 4 p.m. talking about something very, very serious, humidity. So it's going to be worth your while. We might even have a reason, might even be a coupon code involved. So watch that program later. I can't give too much away. But Charlie, if you hang up the phone here and you buy one of these guitars, you've got to keep it humidified in the winter, and you'll want to watch today's program at 4 p.m. on youtube.com/AaronShortMusic. It's not my show. I'm just the eye candy. I'm the guest, so it's not on my channel, but it's really worth a look. Thank you very much, both of you guys, all of you guys, for watching both programs, and see you guys next time. Okay, Charlie, this is going to be it. Let me know if I forgot anything, and I will hit the brakes and do what you want to hear. very welcome, Charlie. Thanks very much, guys. Live by request. Roach out.